for the next question, we've talked about the mainstream film making, right?
Yeah.
At first. So now let's go to the trending nowadays, which is the online streaming platforms like Netflix. So personally, I have watched one or two full cast black series that was shot in South Africa, and also one country from another African country, but I forgot where it is. But I don't see full cast black characters that was shot in America. So for you, do you think the increase in black led content reflects genuine progress in the entertainment industry, or is it mainly driven by market demand? Like, the question, to make it short, is it genuine or just for publicity?
So the progression or the progress, in my opinion, as it pertains to film and television or streaming services, as you were saying, right? Netflix as an example, Amazon Prime as another example, Disney Plus as another example, HBO Max as another example, right? So all of these platforms, YouTube, let's just say streaming on YouTube television, right? Is it YouTube TV? I have no problem with having streaming services. I think that's the best way because, we live in a different time, right? Blockbuster is really not. I mean, Blockbuster's trying to come on, have a comeback. And by the way, if Blockbuster does, I will be one of its supporters because I grew up on Blockbuster. That's an American concept, and it was an American phenomenon when it came out. But there were other people. But when Redbox came out, Netflix came out, forget about it. But streaming services is where we are right now. And to your point, or to your question, let me say this, is that I think that marketing based upon demand, but the marketing based upon the demand is already corrupted. It's already spoiled. It's already poisoned with whiteness, if I'm going to say it that way. And I mean that in the most direct way as I can. Whiteness has poisoned the minds of buyers to the point where, or let me say this, has the imputing or the development or I'll just say it straight. I think that's what I mean, and I think that's what I think. So I think that's what I think. So it's driven by marketing and high demand, based upon the demand of whiteness. And that's based upon what I've seen since I was a kid, and study a little, from watching TV, movies, television, all that stuff from since I was a kid, But can I got something to say here really quickly. It's a perpetuating cycle, right? So what it constantly feeds itself, and it's sickening to me. It's sickening to me because it's like a never-ending cycle. No, and it's a cycle never stops. I mean, from birth of a nation, back in the early 20th century until now, the demand for just white representation and the diminishment, or the diminishing of minorities in particular, but black people specifically, has been, prime real estate. So, and that we still see this in 21st century, and people have no problem being bigots. People have no problem spelling it out for the audiences and other groups of people that they don't want anything else but whiteness. And I think because it's a perpetuating cycle. So here's a fact of the day, right? This is coming from Sir Isaac Newton. The third law of Newton is action and reaction. And that's very important because every action requires a reaction, right? So that's one of his staples of, or one of his laws that he created, right? Or that he borrowed. But I don't want to say stolen because that may be too strong and people may get offended. But cause and effect, action and reaction. Every action has a reaction. So it's a perpetuating cycle. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I just agree with that because it's never ending. Like literally, like from the birth of a nation, anybody can, with eyes can see and have ears to hear and have a mind to think, can clearly see that there's extreme biases, extreme tropes from way back when, early 20th century until now, about whiteness and what blackness is. And on my Substack, I have a post here. It's called Breaking the Cycle, right? But this is coming from NASA. Newton's third law, action and reaction. Quote, whenever one object exerts a force on a second object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. His third law states that for every action or force in nature, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Fun fact also is that Newton, as a scientist and an inventor, he also invested in the triangle transatlantic slave trade. But he was, and that's crazy in itself, but it's a perpetuating cycle that has to be broken. So that's my thoughts. Hopefully that answers that question.
So this is the last question that I have for Kevin. But this is out of the film, but it is part of the entertainment industry in general. And this is about my favorite, pageantry. So my question is, are you watching?
Wait. So how much do you love pageantry?
I really, really love pageantry. So, as you know, last like yesterday or 2 days ago, the Miss Supranational held, and the Philippines won. We won the Miss Supranational, and I always and I yearly watch Miss Universe, and I am really, really a pageant fan. So
hold on. I just want to take a minute right here. Let's just let this breathe really quickly. So, what about pageantries do you love and like?
It's like a competition of not only beauty, but brains and purpose.
Okay, I can dig that. So congratulations to you and the people of the Philippines, the Pinoys and Pinays. Congratulations on your success and your victory. And the Miss International?
Miss Supranational.
Miss Supranational? Supranational. Congratulations to the Miss Supranational for her victory, and also for the Philippines for their victory in this. So.
Thank you, Kevin. So, in relation to this, my question is for you, but the initial question is, do you watch pageants?
I'm gonna say no, because I watch them less than more than what I actually do. However, or at the same time, I actually do enjoy the concept of pageantries. I like drag shows. So drag shows are pretty much the equivalent in my book of, of pageants. And we also have, RuPaul's Drag Race. So, and that's like number one for 17 years or something like that. So yeah.
I asked that I asked that question because maybe if you really like fully don't watch pageantry, you could not answer this question. But I think you could answer this. So, how has the representation of black contestants in beauty pageants changed over time?
Okay, so when I was a kid, I used to watch pageantries with my family, right? And that's something that we would just do, just for fun times. And I have a majority of women in my family, so that's just natural for me. So when I was younger, it was pretty much white, 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 white. Everyone is white, and maybe a couple tan. When I mean by tan, I don't mean by the original understanding of what tan is, which is very dark skin. I mean it as how white people mean tan when they go into the tan booth. Oh, I got a little tan. When they go to the beach. Oh, I got tan. That's how they use it. That's how people understand tan today. But the original understanding of tan or olive skin is brown or very dark. Okay, but as the standards of what tan means today, what everybody understands it to mean today, is very, very, very light skin. And that's not how I mean by it, but I'm using the metrics of for what people understand.